is one of the most extraordinary people that you will ever meet. Not just because she's someone extraordinary, but she makes you feel like you're extraordinary and empowers you to become a peacemaker, just like she is. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, please welcome a good friend of mine, someone I love very much, founder, director, Lara Mendel. This one, it's nice and loud.
Thank you. I just lost an earring right at the wrong moment. Can I put it back in? So more official. All right, maybe we don't. Oh, I got it. Diversity, one earring. Okay, we got it. We're good. Okay, now I'm ready. Thank you so much again for coming out to kick off our second decade of peace building. I can't even believe that we're already going into our 11th year, and it's people like you in this room. You all have made that happen, so thank you. It started off as just a dream, and now it is a reality that has reached thousands of students, and it does show me that we do have the potential to change the future. Looking back at where we started, we're absolutely amazed. And standing here now, we're so grateful for all the support that we've received to make this possible. And looking forward, we ask you to join us in the next decade of piecing it together. So I got an email last week from one of our longtime partner teachers who's brought many classes to the Mosaic Project, Kate Kirkup, who's here somewhere. She sent me an email. And it said, and I love this, so I wanted to share it. She said, "I'm so privileged to be an accomplice of yours in your crazy plot to bring peace to the world." And I love that, because it is a crazy plot, but it actually makes a lot of sense. So I guess that's what I'm asking of all of you here today. I'm asking you, if you aren't already, I'm inviting you to be an accomplice. So I want you to fully understand this crazy plot. You've already seen a little bit of the craziness. I want you to fully understand its future as well as its origins. So I'm going to go back to when I was 15, and I had one of those life-changing weeks that shaped the rest of my life, just like our outdoor school is for many of our students. I attended a diversity-focused overnight summer camp that blew my mind. It also convinced me that waiting until high school to address issues of difference is waiting far too long. By that time, prejudice can already be deeply ingrained. And so then I had the experience in college when I was at Stanford. I had the opportunity to visit Germany with other Jewish students who had also lost family in the Holocaust. And we, side by side with German students, we met former Nazis to discuss what happened. And this was another life-changing experience that really got me thinking about prejudice, hatred, and violence. So at this point, I was already familiar with something called the Pyramid of Hate that we're going to show you here. This idea that prejudice leads to discrimination, which can lead to violence, to genocide, or war. I already knew that, but in Germany, I got it. I really got it on a deep gut level, that what starts as just a little bit of prejudice, a little prejudiced thought, can lead to horrific acts of violence, and that they lead to smaller acts of violence all the time. So these experiences and a mutual desire to make a difference sparked years of conversation with my college classmate and my co-founder, Margaret Gogi Hodder, who, where are you? Oops. And so from those dialogues, the Mosaic Project was born, and it is based on a very simple idea that, as Gandhi said, if we're to create real peace, we have to begin with the children. Studies show that people start to exhibit prejudice between 2.5 and 8 years old. So we cannot wait to teach children about conflict resolution, diversity, and being peacemakers in their communities. Yet we're the only program that we know of that brings children together of young children together of different backgrounds in a residential setting in this way. The only ones that we know of doing this in the country, and therefore I'd venture to say it's probably in the universe. Kind of need to change that. Our studies also show that schools are now as segregated as they were in the 60s. And I believe that that segregation is just flat out dangerous. And this is why. At the Mosaic Project, we add bottom layers to this pyramid. We put in, at the bottom, separation and lack or limited experience with people different from ourselves leads to ignorance and fear. And those lead to prejudice, discrimination, violence, genocide, right? And then, of course, that discrimination and violence leads to separation, and the pyramid becomes self-perpetuating. So the work of the Mosaic Project is to dismantle the pyramid of hate, working at each level, beginning with the bottom, and we do it very strategically. We bring children together from different backgrounds, and we give them the tools necessary to dismantle this pyramid brick by brick, conversation by conversation, and action by action. And after working for 10 years with close to 6,000 students in just the outdoor school, we see that it works. So you've heard secondhand a bit about how we do that, but I want to give you a little more direct insight into how we do it by breaking down a couple important concepts, the way that we break them down for our students. So I want to look at this pyramid of hate again. All right. I got to go into teacher mode and get away from the podium. Here we go. Much more comfortable out here. All right. So we look at the pyramid again. What happens when we're not meeting people who are different from us, or rarely talking to people who are different from us? What happens? We end up relying on the messages that we get around us. We rely on the messages we get from the media, from TV, from movies, from books, what people say. We rely on stereotypes for our information about people that we don't know. So the definition that we use for stereotype at the Mosaic Project is a label. You have this idea about a whole group of people, this idea that you've heard around, and you slap it like a label on one person without even thinking of them as an individual. So one example we use at the Mosaic Project is maybe that with our students, is that maybe I have an idea, a stereotype, that all people who wear glasses are geeks. I don't have that, but let's say I did, that all people who wear glasses are geeks. So I see Brett Denon over there. Come on up, Brett Denon. Come on. So I see Brett. Let's say I don't even know him, but he's wearing glasses. So in my brain, I just stereotype without even thinking of it. And I slap this label on him. It's actually like taking a box, putting it over his head, and slapping the label geek on it. So what happens is I don't see Brett Denon anymore. All I see is the stereotype. All I see is the label. All I see is a geek, a big geek. Right? So once I'm looking at him and I don't see him as Brett Denon, now I've dehumanized him, right? And it's that dehumanization that allows us to treat other people horribly. That's what it takes. We know that from all of history, right? In order to be horribly violent to somebody, you need to be not thinking of them as a person. And that's what stereotyping does. It dehumanizes the person. So if he's not even a person to me, if all he is a geek, how am I going to empathize with him? How am I going to put myself in his shoes, right? If I'm thinking of him as a human and I'm able to put myself in his shoes, it's going to be really hard for me to hurt him if I'm really thinking about what it feels like to be him. And if I see him being hurt by other people, I'm going to be more likely to stand up for him, right? So what we're asking students at the Mosaic Project to do is to really be aware of this and stop putting boxes on people, to get to know people for who they really are. All right, you want to come out? Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hear another round of applause for Brett Denon. All right. So we're asking our students to stop doing that, right? But the thing is, that is much easier said than done. It's actually really hard to stop doing, and sad to say, but it's a lot harder for us as adults to stop doing it than for kids. And I want to show you why, okay? Why I think that is. So in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, we're going to flash another triangle on the screen here. And what I want everybody to do is read it out loud all together as fast as you can. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Monday is the first day of the week. All right, let's look at it carefully. Let's read it out loud slowly together. Monday is the first day of week. Right? So, all right, some of you who've been up to Mosaic have seen this before. But if you didn't, you probably read it as Monday is the first day of the week, and this happens all the time when we do this. Why do we read it as Monday is the first day of the week when that's not what it says? We do it because that's what our brains expect to see, right? Our brains fill in the blanks without us even knowing consciously that it's happening. We fill in the blanks to Monday as the first day of the week. And that's what happens as humans, right? That's the way our brains work. We generalize. It helps us make sense of the world. That's how we categorize things. But the problem is, I think we do it all the time with people. And when we do it with people, it can be very dangerous, right? When we see what we only expect to see. So I'm going to explain a little more the way we explain it with the students. I'm going to go back to our geek example, but you don't have to put the box on again. Okay, so I have this stereotype that all people who wear glasses are geeks, and maybe that they all read at free time. So I go out at free time, and I see that Brett is wearing his glasses, and he's reading, and I say to myself, not even consciously, oh yeah, all people who wear glasses are geeks, and they all read at free time, right? I don't even notice that John Marley over there is wearing glasses, and he's not reading at free time. I don't even notice that Marcus over there is not wearing glasses and he is reading at free time. It's not just about only seeing what I expect to see. It's also about not seeing what I don't see, not seeing what I don't expect to see, right? And so then my brain reinforces its own stereotypes. I hear people say all the time, well, she reinforced my stereotype. He reinforced my stereotype. No. Nobody reinforces your stereotype. Your brain does that. And then it becomes self-perpetuating because you only see what you expect to see. And then you say to yourself, oh, of course, I've seen that before. All those people do that, right? So another little more serious example we use with the students is maybe you come to Mosaic and you have a stereotype that kids with a different skin color than you are mean. With a certain skin color, maybe are mean. So I get to my cabin, and there's a girl there with that skin color, and I feel like she's being mean to me, right? Maybe even interpret something as being mean that's not. Maybe she is mean. Doesn't matter, right? So she's being mean to me, and my brain says, oh, yeah, all girls with that skin color are mean. I don't even notice all the other girls with that same skin color that are being nice to me. I don't even notice the girl who looks just like me who's being mean. I don't see that. My brain sees what it expects to see. And then the stereotypes go on and on. So what we're asking our students to do is to be aware of this and to actually get to know people for who they really are, not for who they think they are. Even kids from the same school, as Maya said, she got to know students from her own school she'd known since kindergarten on a much deeper level. And it's a lot easier for the kids to do that than for us as adults because their brains haven't been trained to see what they expect to see for as long as our brains have. And that is why we work with kids. By the end of Mosaic, they're able to see more clearly, more truly, and as they humanize others and empathize, they dismantle that pyramid of hate and move us towards a more peaceful future. And they don't just learn about peace, they taste it, they experience it, they feel it, they create it. And they become these amazing peacemakers that you see here today. They are brilliant, they're inspiring, they're my teachers, and I'm so proud of them. And they're not just changing the future, they're changing the world right now. And it is people like you in this room that have made this possible. People in this room have helped us to reach close to 20,000 young people through our outdoor school, youth leadership, and in-school project combined. Your investment in our work has provided a great return. Several years ago, I stood right here and I asked for support to develop our youth leadership project into a program that served teenagers throughout the year, and the people in this room made it happen. Then, thanks to the support of the people in this room, we got Shireen. That was a pretty good gift. And as you know, our in-school project is well underway. And last year, in a very difficult economic year, I asked people in this room to help us survive and thrive. And here we are. We are still alive and kicking and plan to be doing so for a long time. So now I know that the wishes that I make in this room can become true. So I want to share some of our wishes with you for the next decade, okay? And some we hope to happen right away. Our first dream is to ensure that our current partner schools that are struggling with severe budget cuts can stick with us. Even though we have a very generous sliding scale, for the first time since our founding, some of our schools are coming to us saying they can't find any funds at all to participate. So Mosaic now needs to raise even more funds than before so that we can ensure our continued partnership with these schools. Some have been with us for almost our entire existence, and we're not going to let them go now. Our next dream is to establish Mosaic clubs and curriculum to better support our alumni through their middle school years until they're old enough to come back and be youth leaders with our program. We also, with the Youth Leadership Project, we also want to offer alumni retreats. And another dream is to have family retreats eventually, too. Okay, the next dream I'm super excited about. It's our most exciting development since the creation of our curriculum guide that Brett held up. We're pretty proud of that, y'all. It's going to enable us. We get calls. Thank you. We get calls from all over saying, can we have the sheet music? Can I buy your curriculum? And now we actually have something that we can offer and share. And I've been getting requests all over saying, can we start a camp based on the book? So it's been really exciting to be able to spread that. Now this is the next huge exciting development. I am very excited and proud to announce the Mosaic Consulting Project. Sounds very official. That's why I wore my suit today. I don't dress like this at the camp, right? But the Mosaic Consulting Project. Okay, so although we've been facilitating trainings for adults, mostly professional development trainings for a really long time, now we're going to be expanding our adult offerings through the MCP. Yes, it is harder for you to get over what your brain has been trained to do, but we still have faith in you adults. We'll still work with you. All right, so these trainings are not only designed for educational organizations, but also for community-based organizations and also for corporations. And it's going to enable us to expand our impact as we reach entire communities through the schools, through the community-based organizations, and also through the workplace. So our dream is that not only is it going to further our mission to create a more peaceful future, but that it will also provide a significant, our hope is very significant, funding source for the Mosaic Project, right? And we're very excited today to share that Gap Inc., will be one of our first initial MCP partners. We're very grateful. We're extremely grateful for their openness and their enthusiasm. So if you know of any other organizations that you think would appreciate what we have to offer, let us know. And you can learn more about MCP, the Mosaic Consulting Project, in the info table back there. We have flyers, and you can come check them out. And we also have an MCP workshop happening next weekend. So if you're interested in joining that, you can check in with us at the info table. All right, so the last one's a very big one, the last big dream. And we wrote this one down in your programs. It's so big. The last one is that one day soon we plan to be talking to you on this day from our own land. See, our peoples are excited about that, right? So I have had our staff tell me, Lara, if the land's in Alaska, we'll go. We'll go wherever it is. But our dream is to have it right nearby. We want to have it maybe even in the East Bay Hills, right over there. There are no overnight camps for kids there. I think there should be, and don't you think we should be the first one? Okay. Why should our kids be going to Santa Cruz and really far away? They should be nearby and these beautiful, and not have to pay for bus trips that go so far, and be right here in these beautiful hills right here. So that's our vision, to have our own camp where we can have year-round programming for our students and alumni and their families, and where we can realize our vision here in the Bay Area. So come talk to me if you have any leads, or give me a call anytime of the night. And then we can become a model replication elsewhere, because there isn't a place on this planet, we believe, that doesn't need the work that we do. And I think that's why we're a small organization in the Bay Area, but lately more and more we're getting requests for Mosaic to spread from as close to Chico, and as far as Illinois, New York, Alabama, Mexico, and most recently China and Egypt. So luckily, we now have our CD and our curriculum, and we actually have a couple people working on translating that too, that we can send around the world. But wouldn't it be amazing when we can actually bring the powerful outdoor school around the world, right? So that's the crazy plot. A plot to create a more peaceful future for our children and their children, and a more peaceful future for Michelle Brown's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great- we will. We tell our students this all the time. Not only do we have the power, we will, because we're all interconnected. And so our actions do affect the world around us. We will change the future. So the question is, what do you want to do with that power? Do you want to join us today in this plot for peace? Yeah?